A lot can be said about the finals and its actual readiness for the competitive scene. We all know about the matchmaking issues, being put in lobbies way over or under your rank, or the unexisting text chat that implies that you will have no communication with your team if someone doesn't have a microphone or is simply shy or lazy to speak. While all this is true, the final feels like it is one small step away from becoming a monster of the FPS genre. While we patiently wait for that to happen, I've decided to try to help the community understand better how to handle each rank and determine what you can expect depending on where you stand on the ladder. This is Captain, welcome to the video. Learning Basics. At this rank, players are discovering the game. Considering that losing doesn't make you lose fame points in bronze, a player at this rank is either new or simply a very limited time player. He will most surely have no concept of what the rank mode entails, what specifics the map has, or even real knowledge of the build and weapon he is playing. Casual play. Considering the low amounts of hours that a bronze player has, you need to understand that those players are being bombarded with a ton of information at every corner. Everything is new, or nearly new, and they need to process that information. They will most surely be experimenting and discovering everything. That means that their focus is not on shortcuts, max damage outputs, or how to cash out at the last second, but rather exploration and basic objective requirements like how to survive a fight, or what button do I need to press to capture the objective. Limited strategy. If you end up in a game with a bronze player, I advise patience and support, as it will surely be a little frustrating. This isn't in regards to their level or the guns they might be playing out of meta, but more so because they will have minimal understanding and focus towards teamwork. Advanced tactics that you might be used to has not even started formalizing for them, and you shouldn't expect them to anyway. They are still in their wow moment phase, where a crushing building can still end up in a jaw-dropping moment. Because of their general understanding of the game at that moment, you should expect that the concept of teamwork is not yet coming in play for them. Occasional mistakes. Obviously, a bronze player will make mistakes, a lot of them, and that should not come as a surprise to you. Not only have we all been there, but it is only by making those mistakes that you were able to learn from them and see your gameplay evolve. You should expect errors in decision-making, such as targeting the right objective at the right time, holding fire in an unbalanced teamfight, or standing still while firing. The best you can do to make the most out of this situation is either to help him or her stay calm in the face of these mistakes, or try to share your knowledge of what they could have done better. The worst you can do in this situation is to point the finger, get toxic, or prove why he was the one at fault, resulting in a failed action. Not only can you ruin the fun of the game for him, but you could also impact your game too. A tilted player is a losing player. Introductory level. Again, and because this needs to be clear in all of our minds, a bronze player is at the discovery phase of his gameplay. Everything you have seen hundreds of times, they have only seen once or a few times at best. On top of that, players in bronze are still grasping fundamental concepts like the rules, the layout of the maps, what teamwork looks like, and what their role is in the middle of all that. There is no point in pushing a player to do better when they have no understanding of what is good or bad yet. Let them discover at their own pace. Focus on unranked games to avoid getting frustrated at losing fame points, and in any case, remember that a game is here to be enjoyed. The finals is an incredibly difficult game. Whatever rank you play in, you should focus on the mistakes you are making rather than the ones that the rest of your team is doing. Improved mechanics. The real journey has finally officially started. Players in Silver have already had to have at least 20 hours of gameplay experience, as they will have had to run through the 15 unranked games just to unlock competitive mode, and then parse through Bronze 4 to Silver 4. You can expect a Silver player to have basic understanding of controls over his character's movement, kit, and abilities. That being said, Silver players are still experimenting with what the game has to offer. There is a strong chance that they haven't yet decided what weapons they prefer, or even which build between light, mid, or heavy makes the most sense to them. Objective awareness. While their understanding of maps, respawns, or even the concept of what the meta is and looks like in the finals is still limited, players in Silver are starting to understand the importance of objectives in matches. With a bit of guidance and support from your part, there is a good chance that you will be able to start coordinating pushes and general point attacks. While that is true, You have to keep in mind that this is still looking like a lot of information to process at once for a silver player, and you should therefore make sure to hold your pace and the speed at which you expect them to execute. If you go too fast, you could break their concentration, and this could lead to losing an otherwise easy cash-out capture. Basic tactics. While it is true that you should not expect a silver player to know his way around every map, shortcuts, or techniques to sprint around, there is a good chance that they now have a general understanding of what the map strategies are looking like and what positioning are available for attacking or defending objectives. Be aware that this could be a double-edged sword. Silver players have started seeing their ranks go up by now, and they, as all of us, will start believing in their capacity in climbing the ladder. Because they do not yet grasp the full scope of complexities that TheFinals has, being overly confident, instructing, or advice giving can very fastly result in toxic behavior. If you see that communicating is not bringing any positive, switch your comms off and let them play however they want to play. They might be making mistakes, but this is always better than having to fight with your own teammates. Team cooperation. As I started to mention earlier, by now, you can expect players to begin to work with their teammates towards coordinated plays. The key point here is the speed at which you expect the plays to be executed. While you probably have done this many times before, they are either new silver players who still haven't pushed each objective a good number of times, or are stuck in silver players that most surely have the wrong reflexes imprinted in the way they grasp the attack. Make sure to slow your pace down to align with what they are doing. You will see success much more easily by lowering your level little rather than expecting them to play over their usual average. Reduced mistakes. Except for fast tilting players or overly toxic personalities, everyone is chasing victory at all times. This means that any player will remain at least somewhat aware of what they are doing right or wrong and try to rectify their mistakes to make sure that at the very least the next game goes better. This means that opposed to a fully discovering bronze player, silvers have already started learning from their mistakes and are therefore making less of them. As mentioned in the last point, the key here is the speed of execution. If you manage to coordinate your team, there is a good chance that this will be enough to outmatch any other player in a silver lobby. Refined mechanics. Okay, you're now in gold. Congratulations. You've outperformed the majority of the player base. By now, you have a good understanding of what most of the concepts of TheFinals are and what each build entails. This means that you can expect from any gold player a smooth execution of every character ability and what their movements look like. There's a good chance that the gold players you are facing have built their kits to align with their own playstyles, so be aware that they are already feeling at home while playing the game. They know what they want and they know ways to get it. From gold 4 and up, your guards should always be up. Objective focus. To reach gold 4, a player will have had to stock thousands of fame points. To get those fame points, by definition, each gold player will have had to win games, and to win these games, these players will have had to capture tens, if not hundreds of objectives. They now fully understand that a ranked game doesn't revolve around your kill count, but rather how many objectives you can capture and your capacity to protect them. They also know that TheFinals is a purely team play focused game, and that capturing these points will only happen through team coordination. There is very little chance that you will find isolated players. To win a gold game, you will have to understand how to adapt to any team you are matched with, especially in solo queue. Strategic play. TheFinals is using mechanics that FPS games have been building for over 20 years now. This means that you can expect verticality, destruction, diversity in gadgets and strategies. A gold player can be expected to start having at least a strong base for all of these. For example, killing an enemy is more surely no longer a simple 3 - 1 equals 2 players left calculation. You can expect that any mid-build player will have embarked a defibrillator, meaning that the first player downed will more surely be respawned. This will strongly influence the length of a team fight and the approach to your defenses. Another example would be the use of shields by heavy builds, which, if paced properly, can tank an outrageous amount of damage over a long period of time. Rushing in, or waiting for all the shields to be broken, can be a fatal mistake. You will need to start learning how to read the overall situation and find the cracks in the enemy defenses. Effective communication. Communications have now officially been put at the center of a ranked game coordination. Players will have improved teamwork and general coordination. There is very little chance that players are still pushing solo actions or running after a desperate kill. Now, Teams of 3 will be pushing together consistently. This means that you need to remember the full extent of kits you will be facing and how to counter them. Holding your entire 3-man team in a corner while protecting a cash out would very easily be eliminated just by a heavy launching a nuke towards your group, or 2 players attacking from one side and the last one flanking your blind spot. This is no longer just about the pace of attacks and defenses, but also about how you coordinate them together. Consistency. While silver can be attained just by continuously playing, since you cannot lose fame points in bronze, gold is already a game skill grind. This means that while teams in silver can be made of players with a very different level from one player to any other, you can expect a similar baseline for gold players and the way they will approach the rank games, since you can expect that players will be demonstrating a more consistent level of performance. Reaching the higher gold ranks will start requiring you to change and ameliorate the details and minute specifications of your gameplay. Advanced mechanics. We're now in the higher tier of players. These levels cannot be reached by any form of luck or persistence. To enter the platinum ranks, you will need to have your own playstyle, strong reflexes, and a strong will to do better at every single game. To get to that, a strong and common denominator to all platinum players will be the mastery of their character's abilities and movement capacities. Jump pads will be set at the right place to speed through map high grounds, shields will cover capturing players on objective pushes, vanishing bombs will hit the 3-player team at the perfect moment to support a difficult escape, etc. At this point, you will need to be aware of the meta, the patch note changes, and the general game mechanics if you want to attain victory consistently. Tactical mastery. The game is no longer a streamlined attack the point, capture and defend. From platinum ranks and above, it is not only team coordination and advanced mechanics, but also choosing the right timing and strategy to attack or defend. For example, if point A is already being captured for a good 10 seconds, while you are holding the cash out of point B, there is a good chance that at least one of the remaining 2 teams will be on their way or already trying to recapture point A. This means that when you launch point B, you can expect 1 team to attack rather than 2, giving you a much better chance at succeeding your capture. Make sure to time your attacks and defend properly. Team synergy. From those ranks, except in rare cases, most teams can be expected to have at least some form of communication. Because of that, surprising the enemy in any way becomes much more complicated, as they will relay any information they have to the rest of their teammates. The best way to counter that is to be more efficient than the team you're opposing. Choose how to communicate and what information is key for the path of victory. Screaming, "The enemy is one shot," might be true and could lead to your teammate ending the enemy, but if the key information was that there were 2 enemies on the same spot, you can lead your team to misunderstanding the situation and having everybody brought down with you just to watch the first enemy killed being revived next to your dead body. Adaptability. Another key information in understanding how to play against a platinum team is to understand that to reach this point, they have probably faced thousands of different attacks and defenses. They know and acknowledge that each player has the level of understanding to make their attacks difficult or their defenses efficient. You will need to learn how to quickly adapt to opponent strategies during each match in ways that are unexpected to enemy teams. Remember at all times that TheFinals is an all-rounder FPS, and that not only is the game very hard overall, but you're already fighting against the higher tier of the players in this set difficult game. It is now 100% the details of your gameplay and the gameplay of your team members, as well as the complexities of your strategies, that will lead you to fit through the small gaps of your enemy's defenses. Reduced errors. At this level, and especially in higher platinum tiers, there will no longer be space for mistakes. You will need to remain open-minded to your mistakes and understand how to rectify them if you want to pass to the next rank. Enemies will see and adapt to your gameplay and mistakes as fast as one attack in some cases. If you remain flexible in your approach to every game and even every objective, the short time frame that each game represents will dissolve in front of your eyes and lead to frustrating defeats. If you see that no one in your team is taking the lead, do not be afraid of taking that role on, as a lack of clear direction will similarly not be enough to reach victory. Exceptional mechanics. Diamond is, in itself, a very separate world from the rest of the game. To reach that point, players will have had to master most, if not all aspects of the game. This means that players will have some level of mastery on all types of builds, guns, movements, and character abilities. At this level, and especially on the top tier of the Diamond rank, you can expect the unexpected at every corner. Players will have discovered self-made tricks, workarounds, and expert movements. They will, in most cases, understand where you will respawn even before you do, how to control every recoiled bullet in their clip, or how to juke you at close range to let you draw your bullets faster than they would. In all honesty, not every player can reach Diamond. You will need patience, dedication, and a very strong understanding of the FPS genre and its limitations to work your way around these ranks. Strategic genius. Similar to the previous point, you need to understand that players at that level have basically seen it all, repeatedly. They know the extent of possibilities, how to position themselves to best counter any incoming attack, and where they could or would come from, as well as how to react in the face of adversity. The element of surprise being removed from the equation means that the only way to consistently reach success plays in the minute details of the finals and juggling on the fine lines of the limitations of the game. For example, what might seem like a rare occurrence or usage in any other rank can be seen as basic and common in Diamond, like bunny hopping or strafe shooting. You will need absolute out-of-the-box thinking to outsmart players. Remember that even if you do take down a full enemy team, another full Diamond team could be lurking around the corner, waiting to third-party you in your weakest state. This is war. Flawless teamwork. We talked about what to expect from enemy Diamond teams, but let's now take a minute to focus on what you should expect from your own team. At this level, mistakes are unforgivable, as they will very often result in a failed action and a full team wipe. Considering the work every player had to put in to reach that rank, you can expect tempers to raise quite fast in the face of failure. You will need to learn to communicate efficiently and judge the level of stress that your team faces to adapt to it and avoid internal conflicts. Intel is given out very fast and with the expectation that it is received just as fast and that you are flexible enough to react to it in a timely manner. Synergy and precise coordination with your teammates is key. Adaptable strategies. Similar to what we mentioned in the Platinum ranks, Diamond players are flexible enough to adapt to any kind of situation. The difference here is that this will apply to the extent of the composition of your team, the weapons you are using against them, and the gadget you use to support these attacks or defenses. For example, a Diamond team can very easily deactivate a shield strategy with a simple glitch grenade or a surprise sneak flank that will cause your attention and focus to falter for a couple of seconds. Confidence, flexibility, and understanding of what an attacking or defending team can or cannot do is the best way to make sure you stay on top of what is happening at all times and gives you the margin to prepare for a counter-attack. Remember that you will not be given a second chance. Elite decision making. In the heat of battle, Diamond players showcase unparalleled strategic brilliance, predicting enemy moves and orchestrating flawless plays. These elite-level gamers seamlessly adapt to any scenario, effortlessly switching between playstyles and team compositions. Their decisions aren't just optimal, they're visionary. In Diamond, it's not about the victories alone, it's about the calculated choices that lead to triumph. Remember that the final englobes most of what FPS games can offer, and you are now playing at the elite level of it. Prepare for a level of decision-making mastery that defines the pinnacle of gaming excellence in this genre. I hope I've helped you get a better understanding of what to expect when ranking in the finals. If you've enjoyed this video and want to see more of similar content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you feel like something was forgotten, don't hesitate to let me know in the comment section. I reply to every single one of them. Good luck on the ladder. I will see you on the next one.